All right.
Yep.
All right. First order. Trustee Pirro will be off tonight. I don't know if he's going to join us later or not. But, so this evening we'll roll call everything since there's two of us here. All right. So moving along. Any changes to the minutes before you?
No. The
No?
agenda.
I'm sorry. Agenda. Sorry. Thank you. Minutes are next.
Yeah, no changes.
No changes. I've got a couple things in fire. Anything for you, Brian?
I think I don't have the temporary appropriation on there because I wasn't sure if I got it done, but I just finished it right here about 15 minutes ago.
Okay.
So I'll put that in. We can put that under new
Business.
Yeah.
All right. We'll do temp approp. All right. Great. Okay. Approval of the meeting minutes for 12/8/25.
Trustee Griffith motions to approve the minutes.
Trustee Barry in second. Roll call.
Griffith
Yes.
and Aaron.
Yes. All right. Then moving along to the treasurer's report.
Trustee Griffith motions to approve the treasurer's report as presented.
Trustee Barry in second. Roll call.
Griffith
Yes.
and Aaron.
Yes.
Almost said Pirro.
That's right. All right, wonderful. Moving along to public speaks. We've got Mr. Parker here tonight. Mr. Parker, thanks for being here.
Yeah. I figured I would just update the trustees here on the progress that the committee has had with Sucos Park.
Great.
So we had attended Canton City Schools, had a get-together. It's going to be more formal on January 14th, where they're going to have their 7th graders present kind of a vision for what they see the park to look like. But we did kind of initial go around with them earlier last week or 2 weeks ago. And then last week, we also met with East Canton, where they had their 9th graders that presented kind of a vision of the park that I know several community members were able to be a part of and
Yeah,
what was
nice.
going on. So it, again, not that anything that was presented there has to happen, but it's good to understand what some of the needs of the community are, kind of their vision that they've got in it. So as we try and get that engagement from the community as a whole, it's good to put that excitement. So just wanted to report that.
Great. Ben, you attended both of those. What was your biggest takeaway? One or two things from those experiences?
My biggest takeaway from the Canton City group is that they definitely have a different vision of what the park looks like. So,
Okay.
like every single kid had a basketball court in their park.
Yeah, right.
Like every single one, until the teacher was like, "No, you can't do that." And so,
The race.
yes,
Basketball court.
it was a race. So then there was definitely things like zip lines, and they like had this entire vision of like this flowing stream and all of theirs, which I know doesn't exist, but it was interesting to kind of see what they pictured it as. And then East Canton, I think they more aligned with more strictly the vision that was given to them by the committee, and there was a YouTube video that was done up, and I think that more kind of aligned with it. I think a couple of things in there was everyone was excited about the sunflower. People were excited about the dog park, the walking tracks, like some of those things definitely that I know has been talked about in the various different groups, kind of were reiterated by the students. That's the type of stuff they would like to see. The ninja course, that was one of the things that I know we've talked about that they were definitely excited to see.
Okay, great. Some feedback that I received more really from the adults as we've kind of been talking and we talked to Tom Moy a little bit about it, and his question was, what would be the next step on getting the perimeter trail in, which I think makes a lot of sense, being that we can still farm it, and we know what we're doing now with the first trail we put in. And what does that look like? He's got it clocked at about almost a mile.
Yeah, it's like 1.7 miles.
So it's almost a perfect mile, which is kind of cool or close to it. So there could be a start and a stop on that. But I think maybe that's something the committee should talk about, and we should talk about as trustees and fiscal officers. What would that cost be? Would there be fundraising involved? Is that the next step to just get that perimeter trail in? And then people can, and then once we have signage in, of course, things like that. It's going to take a little bit of walking to park and go all the way back. But I think those that know it's there will probably use it. And then the follow-up conversation was the distance between the two property lines from Worley's and Sucos is closer, I think, than I realized. I've not been out there to walk
It's
that.
not very far.
It's not that far. And so what does that, maybe fostering that as a next step too, to try to, because that might take some time to get an easement written up and get property owners to agree and maybe do a little massaging there. So.
In the separation of especially McCullough's, but like the fencing, I think is probably a fairly high priority.
Okay.
Of like, how do we keep fencing separate?
Right.
Do something like that. That like, in order to open it up, I think we're gonna want something there as like a boundary.
People are already using it, whether we opened it, not
Or not.
officially or not. Because when I went over to tie the ribbon up, the people that live along that Broadway there are walking over and using the trail.
Okay.
So they're already using it.
Okay, well,
I know.
I
I did talk with McCullough's that
Okay.
day on the type of fencing they were interested in.
And I think we probably should have that conversation because, I mean, I'm not looking at it, but to me, if I were the person on the other side, I would probably ask for some well-placed row of pine trees if it were me, but that's me what I would look at. I wouldn't want just a big white fence.
Yeah.
So I think there needs to be some conversation on what that may be. I don't think they want a mound. I don't think we want to build a mound, but if you,
so when I had talked to him, like a fencing, and then we also mentioned like, so they've got those grasses that are like this tall that make a big thick clump to be able to do something like that. So it's like a visual and physical barrier
yeah,
where the fence is the physical barrier, but then you also have the visual barrier of the grasses that's probably in front of it.
yeah,
That when it grows up, it's able to be maintained there.
okay,
That keeps it so people don't even realize there's stuff over there.
yeah, okay.
So when they saw the little diagram, how they did the wood fencing look at the East Canton presentation,
Okay,
you know how the kids did that, couple like a rail fencing.
yes.
Split rail.
They told me that they liked that, but that wouldn't keep people out. We'd have to put another wire fencing behind it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, that's two fencings now. I'm not sure
Yeah.
we're gonna get into two
Sure.
fencings or not. So I'm not sure what we're doing.
Yeah, that's why the grasses are thick enough. Like, you know what I'm talking about when I say like a big.
Yeah.
They're tall, they're like 5 foot
So,
Yeah.
tall.
so Ben, so you're thick into this right now, and we appreciate your time very much. What would be your big ticket next step? Like for Ben Parker to say, we got to do this next. What is that?
So to keep good relationships, I think the fencing
Okay.
and the barrier is important.
Okay.
The next other thing that I think is really important is at some point we'll probably have to go to an actual architect. Like I stayed after and tried to talk to the older kids at East Canton about what can they put together that's like a visual, like we need a visual walkthrough to be able to do a funding campaign and like roll it out. Like it'd be great to be able to create a funding campaign and roll this out and send it to businesses and say, this is what we're trying to build. This is why it's different. And there's something that they can like visually walk through
And attach themselves to.
and attach themselves to
Yeah.
it to be able to see that.
Okay.
We're gonna need to do that. I'm trying to get students to help do that as much as possible. So it reduces the cost of whatever architecture firm or whoever that we have to go to do that. But I think that's gonna be fairly high up there in order to be able to actually generate substantial capital donations, which I
Okay.
think is the goal.
I think before you complete that, though, we have to know that those are the items we're going to put in. So if you put it in the visual and we don't do that, so I think we need to make sure that, that particular item is ones that we are going to be able to accomplish there or want to accomplish there. So.
Okay, I think we need agreement on that. I also, when you do something like that, the bigger the vision, the more that people are gonna want to attach to it. So I don't think you can go and just, okay, we're just gonna do this and we're gonna do this little place at here. Like, it's not gonna generate the interest.
Yeah, that's not what I'm referencing. If we say we're going to do this item here and then we choose not to, because a lot of the things listed have to come back to, is it going to require manpower to maintain that and how much dollars do we have to do that? So it's coming down to those type things.
Yeah.
So we're trying to look for things that are not requiring an on-site person.
Correct, yes.
So on our and on the trustee side of things, we're still working on the sign. That's something we're working on. And then Brian and I met the Otarma rep at the site from Columbus. She made a trip to see us. And it was kind of a fun juxtaposition for me to sit in that meeting and then sit with the kids. And I love the energy. I love it, and I'm so glad they're doing it. And a special thanks to both of those teachers for making this that project, because I think it's really cool to get the kids in there and tangibly talking about what stuff costs and to build. I absolutely love all of it. It was kind of fun though, because here's the Otarma lady saying, I hate water. Of course she does. And I hate high elevations. Of course she does. And where's your signage? All these logistics of liability. And the question is, it's not, you can't do it. It's just your liability is going to, it's going to cost more to even just to maintain. So the next thing we have to do, if people are walking on the paths now, our big ticket item is signage for us. Like, we have to get the signage done. And that's not a committee thing. That's the boring thing. So she's from the rep from Otarma is going to send us ideas of what she thinks, some copies of a couple of things, some things parks have used in the past. We're going to put dawn to dusk, and we're going to put, no trespassing signs in areas that aren't open yet. And we're going to, this is not for motor vehicles and horses, because it's going to tear things up. And like, there's a lot of things we talked about in our meeting with Brian. And so we're going to get Kim involved, and she's going to help us get that signage put together. So that's not a committee thing. That's a boring thing for us, but that's something we have to move on. Because all we need is for someone to twist their ankle on this place and then be like, well, I didn't know, couldn't be on there with my horse and my dirt bike. So we're going to need to keep on that. That's on us, though, but as we move forward.
What's the distance on that top walking trail, did they say? I didn't see that really designated out. Is it like
what's in now? What Parker?
What is it now? They did say. I don't remember what it was.
Was it like 3/4 of them?
It was something like that. Or
it dips down lower than I expected it would. It's great. I think there's a decent amount.
Yeah, it goes down.
Yeah, it goes down.
The bottom.
Yeah, I think that's
awesome. Go to
awesome.
the next section of the park.
Okay. So what are next steps then, Ben? What's your next move on the?
Getting the committee together.
Okay.
And then having them kind of come together based on feedback from the kids, and then saying, okay, like, what do we need to have included in here? Then I think it's trying to figure out how do we get a video or something done so we can put together a campaign.
And you could always do the video with, here's some of the options that we have to put in here, and not commit 100% that this particular item will be here, but here's some of the ideas that the kids came up with.
Yeah, I think at that point, to get the video, we'll probably have to come back to you guys, because I think that's something that, I don't know if it goes out to bid, or like, we're gonna have to pay someone to make something when it comes down to it.
Yeah, I would agree. Our presentation's gonna have to be nice.
Yeah,
we can't just go to people and say, fund us for this park. And we say, well, what are you doing?
We're gonna try and raise. I don't know exactly. I'm assuming it's gonna be well over $1 million that we're trying to raise. In order to raise that much, we're going to need a nice presentation.
I would agree with that.
Well, and the other thing, when we open up the bottom trail, which I know we need, and I think cross country is wanting that in there. At some point, we're going to have some benches along the way for people. Some points of, I don't know.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
Ben, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. All right, anything else for public speaks? We're going to move on.
Let me add one more thing. So I know someone else who's built a park, and it was up by Brimfield. And I believe it's Lowe's, and I'll find out for sure. They have a special grant program where they grant money to help build parks. I'll find out that detail from that person, and I'll let you know.
Okay. All right, fire report.
Recommend we hire two new people. Randy Hopkins has been on the fire department before, and is looking to come back.
And why did we not have him? Why did?
Just his work schedule, and
Okay.
He was working another fire department job at the time.
Okay. What does he come in at highest tier? Is he
1830.
Is he like the
EMT firefighter 2, EMT basic.
Okay. So great.
1830.
Okay.
And then so he's got experience.
Is he in our township or outside? Just so I know.
Outside.
Outside.
Okay. Randy Hopkins. All right, if you're bringing that to us, you okay for me to make a motion to hire?
I am, but remember, one of the things I mentioned to you before was we don't know these firefighters, and we need to be seeing them so that we can meet them and know who they are. So at some point, start a visitation schedule or something. so that we can meet them.
Okay.
Then come to a meeting, even if they come and say hi and go, if
Yeah,
they're on shift. All right, Trustee Varian moves to hire Randy Hopkins at the rate of $18.30 made. When would you like to start him? Because you have a timeline on him.
Tomorrow?
It's too soon. Okay, to make active now.
Does that work for payroll?
Well, if he starts now, he'll just fall on the next payroll.
He'll fall in the first pay of.
First pay of
Yeah, their first
of
pay
20.
right
Okay.
now.
Trustee Griffith seconds.
Roll call?
Griffith
Yes.
and Varian.
Yes. All right, tell us about your other one.
And then Ty Amos, he is a very green firefighter. He just finished EMT school.
Okay.
Passed his first time.
Do you have any information, just so?
He's in the Navy Reserves. So he's like 22 years old.
Okay.
Very green.
So for him, we probably want to make sure we have the conversation of, we're going to definitely have to train him. There's going to be some training there. We
Yes.
probably want to have that conversation of, hey, if we put a bunch of money into the training there, unless you're with us a certain amount of years, there's a payback policy. And hopefully he's with us and we don't have to worry about that. But if he comes and we train him and then he leaves us.
I don't see him leaving.
Okay.
He's eager to.
Yeah, how far is his location?
He actually currently lives in Green.
Okay.
What was the rate he'd come in at?
1830 firefighter 2
Still,
EMT basic.
okay.
Okay.
Ooh.
So you're going to need full.
What does that give you then if we have?
I need full paperwork on everybody, if they're gonna be starting right away.
Okay.
Because I need to get it between now and the end of the-
17, and we got 2 on medical leave right now.
So, which you would have 19 if they were back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so we'll need to get full paperwork on both of these guys. All right, Trustee Varian moves to hire Ty Amos at 18:30, starting now.
Griffith seconds.
Roll call?
Griffith,
Yes.
Varian,
Yes. So do you have full packets at the station for them? Full employment packets? We need to get those for Brian.
Get it.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. We'll get paperwork moving on those two. I have a couple things. Anything else before you do your calls?
No.
Okay. How's the Marks Radio grant coming along? What do we need to do with that? Anything?
I can
Anything?
give you one update. We received the $31,500 some dollars on Friday.
You
Okay.
did it.
It's
Good.
deposited and then
Great.
in the bank,
Great.
so it's there.
So do we know who we're paying on that, or is the bill
Well,
created yet?
What I do with it, I receipt it in the fire fund, marked Mark's grant.
Okay.
Whenever that happens, which I think that was the, is it Stanley?
Daily.
Staley Company. Once that happens, then whenever we actually get an invoice, you can actually, that all goes to that. And then I have to
Going
give
state, okay.
documentation based on what I signed with Lindsay had prepared with that state grant. I had to submit all that in for proof what you bought with it.
What we purchased, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And that money has to be,
July.
well, it has to be spent by July 1st, but you have to do something with it.
Certify it.
Certify it, that's,
Yeah.
I got it certified.
It's already
I
certified.
I knew it was
Yeah.
coming.
okay.
I already asked for the certification. Actually, part of the temporary appropriation is already going to be on there because they'll certify it when they do what's called the amended certificate for January 1st.
Okay, so we can order after January 1st.
No, you can order it. You can order it now.
Okay,
Yeah.
What happens about paying for it to actually use the money, you can do it right now.
okay,
Because by the time January, February, March, it'll be officially done under resolutions and by approval by the Stark County Auditor by then.
Okay, great. The other thing I wanted to bring up to the group, I spoke to Tyler. He and I have been talking about equipment needs. One of his big ticket items is the air tanks. And my question to Tyler after we had back to back, we usually don't see that much action that close together. But here we have it, right? So I called him and said, hey, what's our air pack situation look like, being that we're, and so we had that conversation of how important that is going to be. And so grant paperwork from Vera, from the grant writer, has been sent to Amy. I think Amy's contacted Brian, so there's some grant conversation happening.
Yes.
I think it makes a lot of sense for us to write the grant for the air packs, and if we can, maybe even the pack filler, because the pack filler is just as old as everything else. And we've repaired it a couple of times, compressor and air dryer and all of that. So I think that makes a lot of sense for us to look for the grant for that. But just as a heads up, we're talking 60,000 plus for packs and another probably the same for
I sent
compressor.
I sent that email with the information on it.
Oh, for
Amy.
for the grant. Okay. All right,
And,
great. So yeah, staying.
so
Perfect.
she has all,
All right.
I filled it all in for
Great.
her, and I'm letting her submit, so she does the communication.
So I think it gets turned in February. So we're gonna make sure that we get our stuff done in January. So we're getting it turned in. So we'll see how we do on that.
Yeah.
So thanks for all those that are working on that for us. And then future fee increase for Ohio billing. We have that on our list. Do we need to solve something on that, Brian?
Yeah, I put that on there, Tom, because I know you, Amy, you had talk with Ohio Billing was recommending some fees for emergency fire that could be added in that now.
Yes, we were going to,
Yeah. I've been carrying that through, and I just want to see, I know you all were going to talk, possibly Trustee Barron involved, just to keep that rolling, because
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to be a lot of money, but you might be able to create some extra revenue or something.
a little bit, and we were going to discuss at next Monday, the reorg.
Okay. So, and that's my next question to the leadership team. I'm available to meet prior to the reorg if you guys want to meet this week and have that conversation, or we can do it during reorg either way. But I talked to Amy a little bit and Tyler too. So,
Did they have a recommendation on the date?
To be honest with you, I'm here the whole week and I'm not working. The preschool's closed, so I can come whenever you guys want me to.
Okay.
I can be available. You name it, I'm there. But we can also meet before the reorg and have some conversations. But I want to make sure we're getting some of these bigger expenses.
It'd be nice if you could come to the reorg with some dollars in mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then my other question quickly before we go on to the call volume, and this is more of a Brian question, have we ever had any of our funds in Star Ohio? Have we ever had any funds in a Star Ohio
No, because
account?
we're in the sweep account. We actually do better right now.
Okay.
Through the years, when you put the whole body of funds, every fund goes into that.
Yeah.
I mean, it all is in a group in it, but it's labeled, like if it's the fire, it's in there.
Okay.
Everything's into the
Yeah.
sweep account that way.
I had a conversation with a trustee in Brown, and all of their money is in Star Ohio.
Yeah.
It's all there. And they got like 7.
And what they do is they do a draw
Yep.
over.
They do it
And
all.
there's a lot of steps to what we're
Yeah.
doing, how we run things now, that
Right.
would change a lot of things. You
Right.
need more purchase order. You can't do a lot of stuff that I
Okay.
can do.
Because they're
now.
getting, they're seeing 7% return.
Yeah.
So like our capital fund, which we don't touch for the fire department, for the fire truck, put it in that account. If they're turning 7%.
You can't draw interest on anything that was levied money, just so you know that.
So how are they doing that at Brown?
Well, I don't know. That's
all
why I
in
say
there.
when
It's all
people
in
say
Star
stuff like
Ohio.
that, you can put it all, the group in it,
Okay.
but you have to be careful on how you do it, because
Okay.
levied money, when you get it levied, now if you get soft billing money, for example, soft billing is different. You got to know where the money's coming from to properly handle it.
All right. I wanted to
do
ask
know
on that. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else through the calls?
Just 28 calls since the last meeting. You see a lot of mutual aid. Although we weren't, like overly busy, it just seemed like we were getting multiple calls.
Yeah.
When we dropped a call, we drop another call and another call. So that accounts for the large amount of mutual aid that you see there.
Okay. We did have a fatality on 30. Did we get all the paperwork filled out for all that and turned in?
Yes.
Okay, that's all been handled. Okay. All right. Okay. Anything else for fire?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks very much. All right. Moving along to cemetery report.
Cemetery, we did receive actually Ryan Eckroyd that does our grave digging. He, whatever his glitchy system is, that our system doesn't like his billing system.
Okay.
And we missed a late October, one in November, one December. So I prepared that. That's here prepared for tonight. But we'll have him all caught back up. But what I told Ryan Shear, our cemetery section, is Ryan Eckroad needs to just give that to him because the apps he's using are really, what do you call it, dangerous for me to be opening them. I'm not saying they're bad. They're just, I don't like opening stuff that's it don't even tell where it's coming from when it comes into my email, so I don't like it.
They just need to turn in a paper
Turn a piece
copy.
of paper, yeah.
Yeah, so anyhow, that was something that we got resolved. The other thing, I did go to Reach Across America and spoke on behalf of the township.
Thanks for doing that.
You're welcome. And
How was their attendance?
it looked pretty good in there. I would say there's 60 to 70 people inside their building there, and it was cold.
That'll
but,
fill it.
It was a good turnout. I know all the years I've been going there since that started, I never really sat inside. I was outside a couple of times because we were out kind of directing traffic and all, but there inside it was pretty interesting. And then it's a nice presentation. I mean, it was nice. I know they were very thankful. The Historic Society, the Porta John got over there. Rodney helped with that project, getting that thing set in place. It picked up on Monday, so
Great.
That was 175. Last year was 275, but I worked a different vendor for that, so that was a little bit of a savings there. As far as any opening closings from last meeting to this meeting, we have not had any. I know we are going to have one in the process right now. That'll be tomorrow. So that'll probably be at the next meeting, which probably I won't mention at reorg, but I'll mention it at our first meeting of the year. Other than that, I know Ryan Shearer has been working on getting some quotes on some trees that are kind of iffy. We need to be considering. He wants to work up at the Coots Cemetery up in East Kent because of sidewalk issues. Root systems really got them sidewalks in bad shape. He's got some ideas. I said, get some pricing so we can look at it. I know when you look at the treasurer's report, you can see where our funds are to start off the year. When we get to the temporary appropriations, I'm running it tight. I run a little heavier than last year, but it doesn't mean you trustees will have the ultimate say on what's spent there. I think that's all that we have that Ryan has given me.
All right.
Any other questions?
Sounds good. Thanks for speaking at the Reach Across America. Appreciate you doing that.
Thank you.
All right, road report.
Trustees have a minute to look at the road report.
What's wrong with the sidestep on truck 550? Was it just rusted out or something?
No, when he went to turn around, that was the night of some areas got about 6 inches in here. And there was a big rock on one of our turnarounds that was covered with snow.
Okay.
He didn't see it and drove, when he turned right into it.
Got it.
I had a couple calls the first snow
Mm-hmm.
that down in the area where I'm at, that the roads weren't pushed back as far as they normally are. And I explained we have a new driver and he's being cautious till he learns the roads. And so they accepted that. I said, it'll get better, but he's got to learn the road.
He's gonna learn.
How you
Josh
doing?
has been doing pretty good.
Great.
He's getting better. He's used to the roads. It's just
Yes,
slow
big
to
truck.
go.
Yeah.
That's why I try to get John or Mike to come help because
Yeah.
it's better to get
Has
the truck
has
out
Mike
there.
been subbing too a little bit?
Yeah, Mike has been 7, so John.
All right. Great.
And I think that's how we're going to get by this year
Okay, so we just get
because I
comfortable.
can't see
I understand.
any other way to
I understand.
do it.
Question for you: the rocks that we swept off the intersections that are in the pile back there. I had a conversation with East Canton's coaches, and they were asking about shot put areas. They would like to rebuild their shot put area up there. And so I don't know if the trustees and fiscal officer and team here would be willing to donate some of those rocks that we have already paid for once.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty.
If that's okay, do you have a plan for what's up there? Or is there enough?
There's enough for whatever you want to
Now,
do.
did all the cemeteries or just Mapleton, Indian Run? They put a base on.
We did Indian Run
Okay.
and Mapleton. And I took some over there to, what is it, Wildwood?
Wildwood. What's one of our trucks carry? 8, 9 ton or?
8, 9 tons.
Okay.
somewhere in there.
Well, if the trustees and fiscal officer are okay with donating a truckload, I think 8, 9 ton will do it. I don't think they need more than
That's
that.
a lot.
Yeah, there's,
And they have a skid steer. Someone's donating a skid steer to spread it, and they've got a group. And it doesn't need to be now because there's snow on the ground,
Right.
so to speak. But before their track season, they're trying to clean up their
Yeah, whenever they do it.
shot put.
That wouldn't take nothing but a half an hour to get that
Okay.
over to them.
All right, super. All right, I'll tell them that when the weather breaks, we can help them out with that. All right, great. Anything else for road?
Nope, that's it.
You don't have to spend any money?
No money.
Oh, wow. We better move on. Win. All right, let's do zoning.
Okay. On the permit side of things, that the property owner list there should actually be Ellington in the bottom. The Donna was a previous.
Oh, the lot splits Ellington?
Yeah.
Okay,
And that's down 44 there.
okay.
Just cleaning up some lines around there that they were doing. Over on the agenda, you see the middle subdivision. We actually approved that for zoning. It meets our guidelines, and it went to regional planning, and it doesn't meet their width to depth ratio, so they're having a variance hearing. So they just need to double check we don't have issues with it.
That's the lot split?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're, because it's a lot, what they're calling it a
Yeah, I didn't think
subdivision.
they were gonna have that width to death ratio there.
Are they trying to build a second house on the property? Is that what they're trying to do?
No, so there's the house that's existing there,
Mhm.
which was set to be split by the will.
Okay,
And this is a parcel next to it, and because that house is there, it's narrower than what they allow. It's
Got it.
like that.
so does it come to us or regional planning will handle, like? will it come to us?
We just gotta double check it through.
Okay, all right.
We already approved it once, so.
Yep, all right.
Over on the nuisance side, I don't have a whole lot of updates. Just something under notes you see there, Holland Avenue. They've had some issues. There was concern about drainage into the ditch and stuff there. That was gray water or something like that. So the health department was out. They determined that at least one septic system was not working properly.
Okay.
When they were out there, and they found that it's actually more than one. So
Oh.
they are
On
working-
Holland, because those houses aren't that old.
So they're working with a couple of the property owners out there to get that problem resolved.
Okay. I got a call on Lucy
Mhm.
and I sent it over.
I called and
That's
talked
great.
with Mr. Bowman, correct?
Okay, great. Yeah, Mr. Bowman.
And,
Thank you.
I mean, there wasn't a whole lot I could tell them that we're not already doing.
Yeah.
Following along, following our policies.
Yeah.
And I gave him some suggestions, and I said, we do have a plan in place that Mary's following. So,
And I'll be calling the property owner with the cars here at the end of the month, just
I've not been back there, but his number was 14 or 13 or 14 actual vehicles. So it sounds like it's a pile of stuff. I've not been back, but I probably should drive by. So, okay, great. Anything else?
that's all I have at this moment.
Okay, wonderful.
I did put your advertisement for your zoning meeting on the public notice.
That will be 2 Mondays from today.
is that your
For the
reorg?
variance on the camper, reorg and the variance.
That's on your BZA?
Okay. All right, old business. We talked a little bit about this already, but just an update. Trustee Barry and the fiscal officer to give update on Seacoast Park. risk management with Kim. So we have a little list of things we need to go over and talk about. And so we're keeping ourselves out of court pretty much.
Yeah, she's preparing what do you want to say, a report
Yeah.
for us to look over with
Yeah.
recommendations.
Right.
I know,
I don't know if there's funding there, if we have to pay for all the signs ourselves, but once we get the recommendation, we'll see if there's any signs we can get for free or through the state, or we'll try, you know. I don't think the
some
signage is
of them,
gonna
she
be too
sounds
bad.
like she was
Even able
able
to
to get
get
us
us,
something,
yeah.
so.
So these are signs to keep people, you know, kind of a hold harmless type of situation, to cover ourselves there, so. And then just a quick update, because kind of while we're talking about it, we were there, Fiscal Officer Larry and I went through the building. The building that's on the Seacoast Park property is insured to have stuff in it, and so we are storing some things inside of that space. And then we kind of had a chance to go through it because it just kind of sits there empty. We do not have heat on in the building currently, nor do we have water running. So that's something we could talk about in the future, but just as an update there, so.
I'll add one more thing on that. We'll have to decide what we're gonna do here with the sign. So as I'm
Yeah.
trying to complete this grant, it requires me to not only have a picture of the permanent sign, but of the trails and signage that's up for that, which,
Do we need to hold a special meeting with Parker to get this handled? Because the longer we wait, the longer it's harder it's gonna be. Do we wanna try to do that at the next, we will try to invite him to our next regular meeting? That'd be January.
well, I had a
Well-
conversation with, I forget her name, is it Therese from the state? From the lady from the state. And I explained to her that we paid to have the electric put in, but we didn't have enough to completely finish what our vision is for the sign. There's a sign there and we posted their sign, but I said that it is going to change because we want to do some stonework there.
Mhm.
Some bigger stones around that sign. And she said she was fine as long as their sign's never removed.
No, yeah,
But I'm thinking that we probably need to drop a couple bigger stones there on that little mound around that sign.
do you think that'll be enough to look like we're going in the right direction?
I do.
Okay,
I think that'll be enough, but if we're gonna put the signage up from Otarma, that signage on the trails would help with
yeah, that sign has to stay up, the little one.
Yeah.
Capital improvement sign, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it'd be nice to get some of that other signage up and show that as well, for sure.
and I don't think signage would be that much. but-
So question then, how, do we need to be moving on this? Are they holding funds until then? Or what do we?
My big issue is I had 147,000 supposed to be in our account to pay the Huntington Trust back. And I would like to get that done as soon as possible. We're gonna roll into the new year. It's been certified. We should get that money back. And I would very much like to see that taken care of before we go into the next phases of anything, that we got everything squared up, the sign in, all the money allocated and spent and paid back. And right now, we're not at that point. And as a fiscal officer, I'd like to see that done as quick as possible.
So does it make sense for us to come early to the reorg meeting on the 29th and have Parker join us?
We have to advertise it.
I can't do that one.
Okay.
I usually would make myself available, but I juggle things around to do the reorg now.
All right.
Whether you do pick another day or whether you want to, you got your first weekend in January or something, you want to discuss that, that's fine. If you want to do it the next regular scheduled meeting
Is the 12th.
in January.
All right. Well, we're not gonna get a lot done in the next week and a half because it's a holiday.
Well, that's,
You
I
know,
just
so,
think through the holidays you would.
yeah. So let's invite Mr. Parker to the January 12th meeting and let's get this sign ordered. Let's talk about, and maybe he'll have a little bit of chance we can talk about what we want it to look like. The thing is we have to look at design. We have to come in looking at something because we're not going to get very far if we're just having verbal conversation about it. We're going to have to look at something. So I don't know if that's something.
Let me have a conversation and see if you could bring a couple samples with
All right,
you.
great. And we can adjust what we see. And great.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Okay, we'll plan on that for the 12th then. So fiscal officer, you're not gonna see any money until after that, so just a heads up.
Well, I just feel, I feel that this
Get
thing,
that money
you
back
know,
in
we're
there.
moving along. We wanted to get
Yeah. Okay.
Parker Construction squared up. We were able
Yeah.
to do that with the help of the bank.
Yep.
I'd just like to get that back there so
All right.
before we move into the next venture of money, have that squared up, because that,
All right.
that part of it. I will
Um,
bring up, just, we're talking about another, I know we have, and Trustee Griffith can correct me if we're wrong, we got time on that. Not to say we want to take the whole time until July. I think it's July of 2026 for the Sioux Coast grant.
Right.
We have time, but that don't mean, you know,
No,
that's.
I want to
27
submit it
months
as
into
soon
the
as
Yeah,
we
month.
the
can.
longer that 140 is sitting out
Yeah.
of the account, it's not
Yeah.
making any interest, so.
But I also want to mention, I want to bring up, might be a short spot to Mr. Piro, but our parks project is not completed yet for all the funding for that. And that one,
What are we waiting on there?
that one there had to do with, in October, I was told by Mr. Piro, he had everybody sending everything to me. And as I got everything, I fired it out to the state. The state helped me with it. We submitted. Once it got submitted, everything looked good. I worked through all the problems there for into the early part of November. Everything was looking good. And as we went through November, the loan officer that actually releases the funds said there was a problem, that 2020 Enterprises did not have an account recognizable to accept that money.
Oh, okay.
And Nimishillen, there was one little glitchy thing with Nimishillen that I was able to take care of really quick. But the problem is they won't release the money until that's done to anybody, back to our township,
Oh.
to Paris,
Got
to Nimishillen,
So
and,
where
and
are
to
we-
2020.
So where are we with 2020?
As of right now, Art has been working with me, and he's getting really frustrated with the state. He's been on the phone repeatedly the last 4
This
weeks.
can't be the first time he's received money
You
from
know,
the
but
state.
it's the first time he's ever done anything with the state this
Oh.
way,
Okay.
with what's going on. And all I explained to him, you know, welcome to my world. When you go into the state, you got 3 different apps you got to have approved. So he has to go through all them, and then there's 7 to 10 day wait periods in between them. One of them was incorrect. He had to resubmit. So keep in mind, this all turned in from 7 to 10 days to almost now a month.
Yeah.
And we're down to the wire now where that grant will not be submitted by the end of this month. It has to be all redone. And I'm not looking forward to that, so I'm hoping. I followed up with Art today. I followed up with Vera, the state. Everything, I keep doing everything I can do, and she said, Brian, I can't release any funds until that's done. Yes, I've talked to Mr. Conkle, it's Art Conkle of 2020.
Would it help if I call 2020?
You can call him, because I told him you wouldn't, don't be surprised. He said, Brian, I'm doing everything I can, but this is really getting aggravating.
This is Art.
Yeah, it's
All
Art.
Go ahead and give him, I'll get his number before you leave. And
He's doing everything he can.
I'll just courtesy call
Yeah,
him and say,
that's what I
hey,
would suggest, because I know he's frustrated, because every time they tell him on his end that everything's correct
All right.
and everything looks good, the state shoots him down,
Okay.
and he's getting really frustrated. We owe him $60-some thousand.
Okay.
We owe Nimishillen about $20-some thousand. We owe ourselves $8,000, Paris about $12,000,
All right.
and all that money just not freed up because of the
Yeah.
way the
All right. Temporary appropriations.
All right. Trustees, I think you all got a copy of that.
Yes.
I got the cover sheet there. I'm not saying I did it totally different, but the temporary appropriations is a little higher than normal. Last year it was 1,718,000. You notice it's 2,612,000. I explained the reason for that. The future fire truck, not knowing what was going to move in that, I made that money available right on January 1st
Oh, okay.
at 230.
Yeah.
You'll notice the EMT soft billing, 2281, 2282. Look at the funds there. Now, keep in mind, that doesn't mean the cash is there now. That means that money will be there with the carryover along with what I project. And I've been hitting it pretty darn
So
close.
81 and 82 are both soft billing.
Yeah, that's soft billing.
That's
So
non-resident, resident.
Yeah,
All right.
but that money is not physically there yet.
No, I understand.
This is appropriation.
Sure.
And then your Sioux Coast Park, I had to put that in there. We didn't really receive the money. I'm going to figure we're going to accept the money,
Yeah.
and then we can pay that out.
Yep.
So those money, you know,
That's why it's high.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's quite a bit of that
That's
money.
$1 million right there.
Yeah, why it's high.
Yeah.
The general fund's a little high. I made a little more appropriation there because of our oil and gas money we received. We still had that money in there for the, when we received our electric aggregation of $48,000, that money's still available for capital improvements. The cemetery was only 12,000 last year. You see that's at 22 this year. Some of those all created the higher normal temporary appropriation.
Yeah.
So I would just ask that they need to have that in place before the end of the year so I can start paying bills, do payroll and all those good things that needed to be done after the first.
All right, so you need a motion?
Yes.
When are you gonna make the permanent then, in March?
What's
When
that?
is the permanent due?
It's
In March?
April 1st.
April 1st, okay.
Yeah. You work off of this for 2 months, and then by the time you get to March, your first half of the funds start coming in February, and then you should be okay. But then if you trustees make any decisions, I can adjust on the permanent
Do you
appropriation.
have any other questions on this?
I don't, I'm
Okay.
fine with where.
What's
we're
your resolution number, Ryan? Where are we?
Well, you can pick it. I didn't assign it to it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. You want me to
But
put-
right
you
now,
want me to make it
right
follow
now
that?
it's 333,
All right.
25, 333.
All right, trustee Varian moves to accept temporary appropriations as presented, which will be resolution 25-333 to start the year.
Trustee Griffith seconds.
Roll call.
Griffith
Yes.
and Varian.
Yes. All right, thank you for getting all that worked up. All right, do we need to do something with the Suco Park asset allocation summary? Is that something we need to make a motion on?
Oh, that's just that in your correspondence, that should be copies
Oh.
of that in your mail.
Oh, that's the report.
I
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
receive
Yeah,
today,
okay.
this is kind of an add-on, Aaron Brugerman, that's been working with our oil and gas leasing, was working on those 3 properties. One was the 10 acres here, one was the 3.3 acres up at the fire station, one was the one cemetery of 1.6. He sent out memos to get these royalty, like everything, see what we can do.
Okay.
2 out of the 3 responded within the allotted time, and he was just updating me, and I sent emails out, but he was updating me.
So 2 of the 3 responded, that's good.
Yeah, they responded, and they did not have any documentation showing that the property even changed hands, so he's in the process of doing that, because
Okay.
at the least, we need to get that in our
Yep.
names for future, and then he can see if we can work any deal out.
Right.
The one company, he happened to be taking his daughter up there, Tiffin, and here the headquarters is right beside where he takes his daughter. So he's gonna personally go in and talk to those people.
All right, great.
But he wanted to update where he was at on that.
Yep. Yeah, just as a point of reference for those that might not know, when property changes hands, it doesn't, the company that holds your gas and oil rights will not go look for the change of property. If you don't tell them, they will not change it. It's kind of a good thing to know, because there's property that we have that was never changed years ago. So, and I had the same thing happen with my family farm as well. I didn't call anyone, so it just kept coming to mom and dad until I made that phone call. So they won't track the county auditor's website for you. It's not something they'll do. So kind of good to know for those involved in that. Okay, anything else for the good of the order of this evening? Nice short and sweet meeting. Anything, Brian? Trustee Griffith, anything?
I don't think so.
All right.
I think we're good.
Trustee Varian moves to adjourn the meeting at 8:22 and pay bills.
Trustee Griffith seconds.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That's good.
Thanks, you guys.
I have a calendar appointment on my phone that's up
So
for
that we
It says
control
renew
people
FD
and
SAM
drive
for the
through. It doesn't have
federal.
to look exactly like this.
Renew.
Something.
FD.
It could be
SAM
big
for
or
federal
small.
grants.
Like that. Rather just.
It was something that
Put
I
that
was
sign
doing a
down.
long time ago.
That looks very
And
nice.
I remember Amy needing to do it every year, so I did
Yeah.
a calendar for it, so then.
I wonder if we can
So I'm just letting you know.
get a sign order.
Okay.
And
I
figure out what
don't,
this is gonna cost.
there was something about
Right,
renewing
send that in, say, hey,
FD
we're building this.